Hello and welcome to another video here in the Learn Sanskrit series. And today we are going to talk about some preparatory stuff to enable you to do the exercises in a better way, or in a more organized way. This is a little more technical kind of video in order to formalize a certain way of approaching a situation. And we're talking about sentence constructions, and we're talking about converting different sentence constructions. So in particular, I'm talking about here in this video, talking about converting from, let's see if I can just find my layer there. Okay, I'm converting from a, let's say I'm starting with a nominal sentence. Nominal sentence, and then I want to go to a let's say a sentence with the verb in it, verb sentence. But actually it's in this particular video we'll just talk about the situation where the verb isn't a how should I say this? It's not a transitive entity that can influence the nouns in terms of, for instance, putting them in accusative case and like that, but it's just a copula, so it's typically of the form. You have noun 1 is noun 2, or it could be type pronoun is noun. But the idea is you have like an equal. It's an assignment, or it's a. So that's what we usually call a copula, right? So the word is the equal sign. Okay, so then the important thing here in such a situation is that we want to, when we're dealing with the nominal sentences especially, we need to identify the subject. So we'll look at that, but that's one of the steps that we will be following. So the conversion then is from either, there are two conversions that we can that we will be having in our exercises, and that's the nominal to the verb sentence, and from the verb sentence to the nominal sentence. So we're getting used to these kinds of constructions because we are creating them ourselves. So when we find them in the literature, we're not sort of terrified or confused like that, but we have a process of we have like a developed a vision for how to see that structure. Okay, so we will doing four types of conversions. We will do two this way and two this way. And the reason why there are four is that we have two types of syntax for the nominal sentence: syntax A and syntax or B, syntax B. So that's why we have, it becomes like four possibilities here. So let's start with example here, when we are doing, let's see, from a nominal sentence. Okay, so I'll call this, if I can get my pointer back here, like that. Alright, so that's situation number one. From nominal to verbal. Using asti, with asti. And using maybe I can just write asti. Yeah, okay, from nominal syntax, syntax B. Let's start with B. From a nominal with syntax B to a verbal sentence. And in the case of the verbal sentence, we are not concerned with the syntax of that, because the idea here is that verbal sentences, the whole idea here is to land onto the standard Sanskrit word order for a normal sentence, and that is subject, object, verb in a normal. So Krishna sees Radha, right? All right. So, but now this is the sort of the standard word order for normal words, normal verbs that are not copula. Not copula here. So this is, so here we have a transitive verb controlling the object, and Radha would be an accusative. So not copula, but but the situation here when we're talking about nominal sentences, we're referring to asti, and asti is the copula. So we have the situation here with the syntax for the copula. But the idea is the same, that the subject always starts the sentence. Let's say Saha, or I can do it in English instead. He a king. Is. So you have the verb there, which is not the normal verb but the copula, and then you have the other thing here, whatever that is. But we normally, well, different Sanskrit authors talk about different things here, but two terms. If I call this X here, and then I'll write X can be X can be called a noun predicate, or perhaps even sometimes a substantive predicate. But this is, I think Speyer talks about that in his Sanskrit syntax presentation. And then other authors may talk about that, in this case the a king here, as a we'll call it the subject complement. But the idea is the same, that there is something. So S equals X, or there's some equation here where the equal sign is here and S equals X. He is a king. Alright, so now, okay, so what we have then is that it's the thing we're interested in is then this syntax here for the verb, the verbal sentence. Alright, so then having said that, let's do the sentence. I'll switch back to black ink here. And okay, I can start. Let's see how many lines I need. 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I can start here. Let's see. Do a little Devanagari. It's always good. Balaha. Balaha. Aham. All right. So this is the complete sentence in Sanskrit, and we do our transliteration. Translit. Balaha. Long a and short a. Balaha. Aham. Okay. And then the idea here is that we want to formalize this sort of conversion now. So what I do here is that I, on my SWO line, English words but in Sanskrit word order. So I do my a boy here, balaha, a boy, or the boy, and then aham, I, and then here on the SWO line I start my expansion to show that there is a copula here which is not shown. So I am is the copula in this case. now what I do is that I indicate where my subject is. And here in this situation, since I have a copula, everything is in nominative, so we don't have the situation like in a normal sentence where perhaps Krishna is in nominative and Radha is in accusative, and it's easy to see that way which one is the subject and which one is the object. But here in the nominal sentence we have an implicit copula, and both the aham and balaha are in the nominative. So both could be the subject, but I mean, if we only think about the nominative, or in the sort of the case as the clue to whether it's a subject or not, then we cannot really decide that just from that. But here we see that aham is a pronoun and balaha is not a pronoun. It's just a normal noun. It's a substantive. It's a common noun and not the proper noun, not a name. It's not Krishna, it's not Radha, it's not like that. So I'm saying that the main possibility here is that aham must be the subject. So therefore, on the SWO line here, I indicate that, or I could do it up here also. I could do it in between here maybe. So this is the subject, aham, I. And then balaha is the other thing, whether we call it complement or we call it complement, like that. Okay, so now we have decided which one is the subject, and since we now have decided which one is the subject, and my goal is to convert this to a verbal sentence with an explicit I am, then I know I have to do something. I have to do a movement here, because if we look at the right here, on the right here, we can see that in a verbal sentence with the copula, the subject is always to the left, and then comes the X, or noun predicate or subject complement. So I have to move this, but before I do that, I will just formalize this one here. I will draw a quick help line here, and I will say, indicate here that this is my analysis of the nominal sentence, so that I now can convert it down here into, on these three lines, analysis and conversion, or conversion maybe. It's a process of analysis, the process of conversion. Okay, that sounds good. So I have decided that aham is the subject. I am the subject, so I have to switch the subjects. So I have to write. Okay, no, but right. So I'm actually correcting it. So first I am indicating up here which syntax I have. So I should know by now, if I've watched all the lessons in this series, I should know by now that if the subject stands to the right, then we have a nominal syntax B. So this is the proper form for this I am over here to the right, that I want to indicate which syntax it is. And by doing that, I have understood what this the Sanskrit says up here from on line 1 and 2. So I now understand. I now can convert this to the verbal sentence, the standard, with the standard syntax of the verbal sentence. So my aim then is simply to, I start doing that first. I start putting down the verb first, because I know I want to skip that. The whole process here is that I want to arrive at a copula, an explicit copula. So I want to toss the parentheses away, and I want to reach that. So that is that's what I'm doing first. Now that's out of the way, right? And then the only thing left is that I will have to adhere to the normal observation over here to the right, that the subject always stands to the left. And then I write my I over here, and I, just for illustration here, I draw this arrow there, and then I'll fill in a boy in the middle there, and I do like that. So I, a boy, I am, and then I'll just, so here then I have this new system there, that I'm just writing the numbers here also. So this is for the analysis. I have Deva 1, Translit 1, and SWO 1. And for the conversion part of this, SWO 2, TR-lit 2, and Deva 2. So I'll just reverse this then with aham here, balaha here, and I am. And now of course we have to know what I am is, and it's asmi. So it's first person plural. And then we just do our Devanagari here. Devanagari. Sorry. It's not. We're not Hindi. Balaha. Okay. Asmi. Okay. something like that, and semicolon and full stop. I, a boy, I am, aham balah asmi. Right, so that's the process for example number 1, where we went from syntax B to the verbal sentence, nominal syntax B. Okay, let's now do number 2 then. We have 2 up here, so from nominal syntax 1 to verbal. So we can take an example here that, and the words I'm using here now, they are, oh, maybe you can, we have had all these words in the course previously, so they shouldn't really be new, but in any case, even if you haven't followed it, I'm translating them anyway, so you can understand exactly what I'm doing. Since I'm both transliterating them and translating them, it shouldn't be too difficult to follow. So we have saha murghaha, semicolon, and that means he a fool. He a fool. And then, okay, well, maybe we can write it out. Deva 1 tr lit 1 svo 1. He a fool. And we want to say something here. What do we want to say? We want to say some form of asti here. And of course he, so it's he is, then we have to have here. And what is he a fool? Is that where is the subject? The subject is here. That's the pronoun. So that means that this is syntax A. And that's good to know, because now we are ready for conversion. So we have our analysis here. And then we are doing our conversion down here. Okay, so the first thing we do is that we just move down. We know that we want to go to a verbal, so we need the verb. That's what we want to do. We're going to get rid of the parentheses. So that's our first step, straight down. Oh, well, it could be a little more straight. Straight down there. And now we just, since we already know this is syntax A for the nominal sentence, we just go straight down then to he and a fool. like that. And now we just just transliterate. Saha, a fool, murkha, he is, and that's asti, third person singular. And okay, and we have SVO2 here, SVO2, translit 2, and deva 2. So the word order remains, and we are murkaha, kaha, and then we do our asti here. Like that. And we do our semicolons and our full stop. And we provide a stroke up there also. Alright, vertical. Alright, horizontal. Right, so that should be done, and that's the half of the situations here. Now we have our situation 3. We're starting with the verbal sentence, and now we're converting them to nominals. So from verbal to nominal, verbal to nominal, and I'll start with syntax 1. Use syntax 1, or syntax A, sorry, syntax A. Okay, so we can right, so we have deva 1, we have trlit 1, and we have svo1, and then we have svo2, translit 2, and deva 2. Alright, so let's do it. So we can do twum, a little too shaky, twum dasaha, twum dasaha asi. So we transliterate this, twum dasaha, oops, little too, dasaha asi, and that is you, singular, you, a servant, or the servant, the best servant in the world, the only servant in the world, maybe. You, a servant, and you are, singular. So now this is the analysis here. And of course we could have made this analysis even more. We could have said that, okay, we could specify this u here as a particular nominative or a particular number or a particular gender in when dasaha, or all these things. You could have done that too, but I think this is for the purpose of this video at least. So we could extend this to be even more precise, more mathematical, more analytical like that. But I think this is okay. Not overdoing it too much. Analysis, okay, and then we have our conversion. Oh, did I say that? Conversion thing. Conversion. The process of conversion. Okay. Alright, so you a servant, you are. So what we do now is that our goal is to get rid of the copula. So we put it in parentheses, you are. But when we do this now, we need to identify what our target syntax should be. And if we look up here, then in the assignment it says use syntax A, right? So we say syntax A up here, all right? And now we just reorder the things according to syntax A on SWO2 line here. But when we now look at the SWO1 line, we see that, okay, the words are already ordered in the right order, because syntax A corresponds to the default sort of normal word order for a verbal sentence with a copula. So okay, so we just copy down then you a servant. So we can so this was the subject here, you. Alright, and then we just, the words are already on the paper or on the page, and now when we go from the SWO line 2 to the transliteration, we skip the verb when we are transferring from the nominal to the, or from the verbal to the nominal, and then we just write it out from dasaha, something like that. So that should work. And I should have drawn this first here, but alright, and let's go to page number 4 or sheet number 4, or the fourth possibility here. Number 4 now, so the convert do we from verbal to nominal syntax B. All right. Maybe we can just, let's label it up here before we start. So we, oh, whoops. SWO 1, and then we have SWO 2, translate 2, and Deva 2. And then we do an example here with tau kakao. Tau kakao staha. Staha. So pronoun they two, tau they two, m masculine, because we have two other they two pronouns for feminine and neuter, but this is the masculine one that corresponds to kakaha, because kakaha is masculine. And of course we have kakao now. We have two of those masculine crows jumping around here on this, in this sentence, but so they're still masculine, right? Where was I? The two. Okay, so the two crows, and then we have staha, which is they two are. So that's our copula here. Oh, I should. Oh, all right. I'll do this. I'll redo this. I'll just copy this down then quickly. And I was one step ahead there to redo the transliteration line. They two are. Okay, let's erase that. Then do a little bigger, do it quicker, like that. Transliteration 1 then, tau, oops, I should have some color. Tau kakao staha. So full stop and unlike that. Okay, so now we do our divider. And now this is, and conversion. like that. And so, okay, so we start. So the idea is from verbal to nominal. So my objective is to get rid of the verb. So what I want to do is I want to bracket this one, they to are. Okay, now that's done. So the only thing left now is I have to ask the question, where is the subject? The subject is tau, because it's a pronoun. Okay. Now the idea is that our assignment is move to syntax B, but I know that the syntax B for a nominal sentence is that the subject should not be the first word but the last word, if we are having just two words. So we have to flip it, right? So our idea here is that we have to flip the word order. So I have to put they to M here, like that, and then I have to do my crows over here, the two crows. And now I just do my kakao here, and then of course I should oh, that's the point here. Then I should of course mark out here that SO2 here is syntax B, and I do that by this indexing here on the Copula in the with the parentheses and the index there. So the two crows, they to M, and then we just do the quick translation here. So I'll finish this off there. Kakao, tau, and we're now on the transliteration line, so there's no verb or parenthesis at all, and we just write it out. Go. Tau. End of sentence. Alright, so I think that's some of the observations then. Of course, one thing I could say here at the end is that this may sound like a tedious process and like that, and it is. There are a few steps here, and there are a few, but the whole idea is that it gives me great pleasure to do this, because it's a systematic approach to doing it. So it's a little bit like the Sanskrit analysis, the formal analysis of compounds that they have. There's a special process of breaking it down and a specific order of affairs and like that. So I'm trying to sort of do something similar here, that we when we're doing this process, we are keeping track of our state. We're not just quickly doing everything in our heads or like that, but we are stepwise. We are keeping our syntax and our the whole situation under control, so to speak. So that's I think that's an accomplishment on my part, because this is my interest to try to programize things to as an educational and tool that we are using here. So don't confuse then that you find that was one point here, that the confusion here, that because in some Sanskrit books they talk about analysis. So, and I talk about analysis here also, as you see, but my analysis is not the same as the usual usage of the word analysis, because in the usual word of the word analysis, it refers normally to the process of vigraha, or like compounds and composition, the composition of compounds, and those are also nominal, because they're about nouns. So don't confuse this. But here we are talking about sentences. This is the analysis of sentences. This is not the analysis of compounds. So just a quick point there. Okay, so I think that's enough for this video here, and I hope this has been useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, and have a good day also. Bye bye.